My name is Kostas from Ruitenbeek. I'm a backend developer architect at Hypersolid and currently also in lead of the AI guild. Frontend and backend are both important parts of a whole solution. The frontend is more like the presentation layer and the backend is more like the supply chain and the production chain at the back of it. I think the part of my role that gives me the most energy is actually bringing pictures to life. If a design, of course, is made by designers, then it's kind of a static image. An interaction model, of course, can be made, but it's not yet working. It's not yet connected to the real world. And that part, making sure that everything connects, that's what gives me the most energy. Usually when we create a new backend structure, the most central part that we are focused on is security. We want the whole system to be secure and maintainable. So what you see a lot is that backend projects tend to get very complex. You can't really avoid having backend structures that get complex, but you can make sure, of course, that it stays maintainable, that it gets documented, that it's easy for other developers to work on. Personally, I like to create an architecture or a diagram, of course, that people can see and actually understand what the project is about. So when I create diagrams, I do it on different levels. For the client, like a high-level architecture. For developers, more on infrastructure based, of course. But with these diagrams and flowcharts, you can actually make sure that everybody understands what's going on in your backend. One that I'm most proud of, I think that's the one that we did recently. And that's actually with a client that was very AI first oriented, just like we are, of course. And we created all these web shops for this client that could actually scale up and down depending on the traffic that was needed. So it was a big, complex platform. And with AI, we tried to build components a lot faster, components that were usually tedious to work with. So that's, of course, an interesting challenge, how you do that with AI. But we actually managed to tame the AI and do everything in a deterministic way to create a project a lot faster than we did before. Behind the scenes of digital products, there's of course a lot of dependencies, and I think most people don't understand how much layers of dependencies there actually are. So what you've seen the last couple of years is that we've went to microservices in the development part of backend systems. And that's okay, of course, but it's a lot more difficult to release. So we try to go a bit more monolithic again, keep being flexible and scalable, but not have everything as a microservice platform at once. I think that's one of the parts. If I could redesign one system, actually I have two systems I'd like to redesign. One is time zones. I'd like to get rid of it totally. Another part that I'd like to redesign is language, spoken language in this case. There have already been a couple of solutions like Esperanto, etc., but it hasn't been adopted. But having one common language globally, that would really be something I'd like.